Starting with Syria's profile. Syrian and Russian forces pushed on with their bombardment of Aleppo on Wednesday, one day after the two militaries announced a full-scale offensive to retake the contested Syrian city. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights monitoring group says 20 civilians have been killed in the city's rebel-held eastern districts under the fierce bombardment that resumed Tuesday after a 3-week hiatus, while local activists counted at least 50 artillery and airstrikes since the morning. Additionally, Turkish President on Wednesday said Turkish-backed Syrian opposition forces are close to taking the Syrian town of Al-Bab, northeast of Aleppo, from the Islamic State group. Recep Tayyip Erdogan said the opposition fighters were about 1.2 miles from Al-Bab. He added the siege is going according to plan. There is a resistance there at the moment, but I don't think it will last long. Erdogan also predicted US-backed Syrian Kurdish fighters would soon leave the town of Manbij, in keeping with a US promise to Turkey. In relation to the context, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad identified US President-elect Donald Trump as a possible natural ally if he turned out to be genuine about his commitment to fighting terror in Syria. It's worth mentioning that Trump said he was ready to work with Assad to fight against the Islamic State group in Syria in the run-up to last week's American presidential election. Assad's comments came in an interview published on Tuesday with Portugal's state-run RTP television channel. In Baghdad, Iraqi special forces pushed deeper into the northern city of Mosul on Wednesday, backed by airstrikes but under attack by rockets and suicide bombers from the Islamic State group. Troops have established a foothold in the city's east and drove northward into the Tahrir neighborhood. Mortars from IS-held territory wounded at least 5 children trying to flee the fighting, who were evacuated by the troops. In addition, artillery and airstrikes from the US-led coalition supported the advance, sending plumes of smoke into the air over the city. Going to the West Bank, a Palestinian official says a gun battle between Palestinian police and gunmen in the West Bank city of Nablus has killed a woman caught in the crosshairs. Akram Rajoub, governor of the West Bank city of Nablus, said 3 policemen were wounded in the shootout. He also said the gunmen attacked a Palestinian security post in the old city of Nablus early on Wednesday. The police responded by shooting towards the gunmen, and the 39-year-old Palestinian woman was accidentally killed. In Afghanistan, a suicide bomber on a motorbike killed 6 people in Kabul on Wednesday in an attack targeting a minibus with security agents working for the government. An Interior Ministry spokesman said 4 civilians and 2 members of the agency were killed. The attack also left 13 people wounded, including 5 members of the security force. Meanwhile, the Afghan IS affiliate claimed responsibility for Wednesday's attack, saying an IS bomber attacked intelligence service employees. On the other side of the world, President Barack Obama toured Greece's most famous ancient monument, the Acropolis Citadel, on Wednesday, as he winds up the first leg of his final foreign tour as president. Obama entered the complex through the Propylaea and walked along the Parthenon temple. Speaking during a joint news conference with Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras on the first day of his visit on Tuesday, Obama explained Trump's victory as a reaction against economic uncertainty and said world leaders should pay attention to their citizens' very real fears of inequality and economic dislocation. On another side, Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a decree on Wednesday to withdraw Russia from the International Criminal Court, which rules on such grave charges as genocide and crimes against humanity. Putin's spokesman Dmitry Peskov explained the withdrawal by national interests and argued that since Russia never ratified it, Wednesday's decree was just a formality. Peskov also dismissed the ICC's accusations of an armed conflict in Crimea, arguing that Crimea joined Russia after a legitimate popular vote. And going to the natural crisis, New Zealand military leaders said on Wednesday they had almost completed the evacuation of more than 700 tourists and residents from a small coastal town. The magnitude 7.8 quake left 2 people dead and triggered a small tsunami. According to the acting command of New Zealand's joint forces, crews were loading about 380 people and 3 dogs onto a Navy ship. He also said warships from Australia, Canada, and the US were due to arrive soon and would help restock the town with water, fuel, and other supplies, as well as transport needed equipment. And moving on to our economic news, the European Union is warning 8 countries, including Italy, Portugal, and Spain, that their budget plans for next year might not comply with the rules governing the euro single currency. The EU's Executive Commission said on Wednesday that in several countries, the planned fiscal adjustments fall short or risk doing so of what is required. The Commission also said slow growth and increased uncertainty driven by factors including Britain's exit from the EU and the US elections are weighing on European economies. And finally, global stock markets were mixed on Wednesday. European markets started on a weak note with Britain's FTSE 100 down 0.5% to 6,755.73. Germany's DAX lost 0.6% to 10,675.73, while France CAC 40 was off 0.6% to 4,507.27. Futures augured a tepid start on Wall Street with the futures down 0.3% and S&P futures also dipping 0.4%. Meanwhile, Asian markets finished mostly higher. Japan's Nikkei jumped 1.1% to 17,862.21, while China's Shanghai Composite Index edged 0.1% lower to 3,205.06.